So I did my best crow call and brought in a raven. See if it makes a noise. Ah! Ah! I hope you heard it in between my ridiculousness and the action. There we go. Yeah. So the corvids are a group of birds that are incredibly intelligent and full of mystery. And their smallest versions here, the most common ones, are the jays, the gray jays and the blue jays. There's magpies in Washington, Oregon area. We have ravens and crows as well, and they not only can count, they use tools and they can problem solve. Right? Unlike the passerines. Now, this group of birds, the jays and the crows and the ravens, they are incredibly intelligent and very useful for us. But we're going to put them aside and get into the more subtle cues, the early warning system that the deer use, the bear use, every mammal uses that gets hunted or hunts each other. And those passerines act differently than the crows and the ravens and the jays. They don't rob each other's nests. They're not quiet inside their own territory and raucous outside of it. In fact, those passerines are very vocal about defending their territory. And if they sneak over to someone else's to get a worm or a grub or a spider, they're very quiet and stealthy. So when we listen to the passerines, we don't need to try to figure out over 2,000 species and their language. They have a rough template for the 5 elements that we all share in bird language. Number 1, the song. Everything is cool. I'm going to sing because my life isn't threatened by a snake or a hawk or an owl or the neighbor's cat. So I'm going to sing to defend my territory and call in a mate. And I'm usually in a prominent position, usually in your yard, where everyone can hear me and everyone can see me because I'm defending and calling. I need to be noticed. I'm risking my life, but I don't detect any threats. Now, when we do this, as bird language connoisseurs, we're ignoring the brightly colored high flyers. We want those birds that are dull and live on the ground, the little brown jobbies. Sparrows, thrushes. The robin in your yard, its territory is your yard, so they're great at teaching us because they're there and available to us all the time. The next note is the companion call, another green light. In the perception of that bird, which is way better than our own perception, better eyesight, better learning curve, nobody wants to get eaten, and usually better vantage points. So when those birds are singing or doing companion calls, we know that everything on the ground is fine. Then there are the smoke screen calls, the self-absorbed adolescent feed me, feed me, feed me, which we are all familiar with if you have a 14-year-old in your house. And we also have the aggression of male-to-male dogfights, either defining or defending territory, and also both males and females flying out of their territories to chase away predators like the crows and the ravens and hawks and owls. Even eagles will be chased away by red-winged blackbirds. The bread and butter is that 5th call, and that's the alarm sequence. I'm going to dedicate a whole series to alarms and different alarms from different species, even different alarms from different humans and their intentions because of body language cues and rate of speed and all of that. But it's the alarm sequence that is our bread and butter. I'll stop washing dishes if an alarm indicates a weasel or a gray fox. But I won't if I know it's somebody riding down the road on their 10-speed bike because that alarm is different. There's so many hawks here that the hawk alarms are noticeable, but I'm not going to stop what I'm doing. I'm just going to put it in the back of my head. Oh yeah, there's a broad-winged hawk across the street working its way from north to south in that wet spot, probably looking for voles as it does this time of day. But if it's an owl, now see, barred owls to me, they call to me, so I'm going to be out looking for that owl. And I'll usually be able to find it about 30% of the time, which is a pretty good rate of success. Most people don't even know that they're walking underneath one because they're not listening to the bird alarms, which are also chipmunk alarms and red squirrel alarms. And if you're in the city, people do the same patterns. So the 5 voices of the birds, real quick. Song, everything's cool. Call note, again, everything's cool. Think chickadees. The 2 smoke screens that you might think are disturbances and alarms, they are disturbances but not alarms. Aggression and adolescent self-absorbed behavior, the feed me, feed me, feed me calls. And then the last one is the alarm sequence. And we'll get to more detail on that, which is the magic for you hunters, you naturalists, and you folks who just don't want to be detected and want to detect everything around you in the woods. That's where the magic is. Until then, see you on the trail.